I may have the ultimate travel credit card setup in 2024. Okay guys, if you are a fan of the channel, you know I just did a video on my plan to downsize credit card annual fees here in 2024. A lot of folks liked a lot of the ideas, and even more of you liked that I admitted that the American Express business model has in the past fooled me into maybe spending more than I think I should. Most of that video revolved around lowering my total annual fees while still being able to travel how I want and as often as I want. Today I want to move in the opposite direction, and I want to show you what it would look like if annual fees were weighed less than the actual effective annual fee. Now, I know that is a term most of us do not like to use, but I wanted to do an exercise to see what the changes in my setup would be if I really wanted to jump feet first into the travel credit card world, do the work, and get the value out of my 10 or so trips this year and in 2025. Because why not? There will always be time to lower the costs and save money, right? Well, with these changes, I'm going to try to lower the overall annual fees I pay, but also add some luxury options, experiencing some popular cards that I've never had, and otherwise travel the globe like the Ric Flair of the credit card game. Guys, if you like videos about potential credit card setups for specific uses, slap that like button. And if you want consistent content about credit cards, points, miles, cashback, and travel, then subscribe to the channel. With that out of the way, let's get started. So this video will be similar to my last one, but I will have some conflicting decisions about what to do with these cards. In this scenario, I'm really trying to take advantage of the last couple of years before my son gets super busy with all those activities and the points and miles game is still worth playing. And not to mention, while I'm still a credit card YouTuber researching all these cards and deals. Let's start in a completely different order. Capital One. Well, nothing's really going to change with my Capital One setup. See, the Venture X has to stay put for two main reasons. One, in a sense, it doesn't really cost anything. Booking a flight through their portal really doesn't affect me in any way other than it knocks down the annual fee to a more manageable $95. And most of us know by now that that card also comes with a 10,000 Capital One miles anniversary bonus. I'll never have any trouble utilizing those miles, so the card stays, and the biggest value the card will give me is the lounge access. Now, first argument as always, Luke, they only have 3 lounges, so what's the point? Well, there are 2 points here. One, with this setup in which I'm all in, I want access to all the lounges, and I mean all of them. Second, I will likely be able to easily schedule my international travel through either Washington Dulles on my way to Europe, or through Dallas DFW on my way to Japan. In these 2 airports, I would likely choose the Capital One lounges over their competitors. Also, the Venture X works nicely as a catch-all card to keep things diverse. Guys, if you want more information or you just want to support the channel, feel free to check out my super organized card link in the description below. Using my link really helps the channel, and if you've used it in the past, I sincerely thank you. I will keep the Saver One, but its role will be drastically reduced to overseas grocery stores, which is probably going to be a rare occurrence, or entertainment purchases. So it will remain, but in a very small support position. If you watched the last video, you may remember that with Citi, I have the Citi Custom Cash and the Citi Premier. I had considered cutting the Premier to possibly add a second Custom Cash that would be used in my big time cashback setup. If you don't follow my channel, I use 2 different credit card setups, one for travel points being the primary, and a backup setup full of 5% no annual fee cashback cards. In this strategy, the Premier card will have to be kept around, but I have to admit, it may never really be used. Luke, why keep the card around if you're not going to use it? Sounds wasteful, I know. I can understand that, but I will keep the $95 Citi Premier around for the simple fact that I need it to transfer points out to partners. I currently have around 100,000 Citi Thank You points, and I would much rather transfer those out as needed than to just cash them out. Also, keeping the Premier allows for the Citi Custom Cash to stay in its current gas purchases position and earn 5 times thank you points there. So Citi remains a small but integral player in this complicated system. Okay, so are you ready for the big changes from this all-in setup from my reduced fees setup? Let's start with Chase because this small change makes a huge difference. In my reduced fee setup, we changed the Chase Sapphire Preferred to a Freedom Flex, and we would use the Chase Ink Preferred as the travel card. But in this all-in setup, we're going a different direction. The CSP will be changed to the Chase Sapphire Reserve, and we'll just cancel the Chase Ink Preferred. The addition of the CSR really changes the game here, as it gives us a third premium travel card, access to even more lounges, but it also gives us access to 1.5 cents per point redemptions through the Chase Travel Portal. One card really does add a lot more optionality here. We have that very broad travel category and the best in business travel protections. And of course, it gives me a chance to get some hands-on experience with a very popular card that I'm not really sure about. These changes eliminate two $95 annual fee cards, but they add a $625 card to the mix that really does not easily mitigate that fee. I can already hear folks typing, the CSR is only $550, Luke. Right, but I need an authorized user card because sometimes I send my wife away solo. That might sound funny, but we've both learned that solo travel once in a while is really cool. Recently, she had some extra stressors in her life, and living in the Midwest, we have the cold weather. I told her to pack her bag and take off. So she checked off a bucket list location for her in Key West, Florida. It's nice to be able to do things like that, but she needs the lounge access and all the goodies just like I do. For the biggest difference here, and I'm sure some folks maybe saw this coming, if we're going all in, we will need the help of American Express. For 10 trips a year and as much luxury travel as I can book, I will be keeping the American Express Platinum. I can mitigate the credits of the Platinum card. I can use everything from the airline credit to the Walmart Plus membership. But the biggest factor after getting that effective annual fee down is of course the lounge access. We already have a ton of access with this setup, but the Amex Platinum will get Centurion Lounge access and potential visits to the Delta Sky Clubs. I'm a sucker for the Nashville chicken salad slider they serve in Atlanta, but I do want to share the catalyst for this video and the biggest reason for even thinking of going all in. See, I don't have any type of airline loyalty. I don't even need to have any hotel loyalty. But this last weekend, when I took Carlos to Dallas to watch the basketball game, I realized something. We only have one lounge in my home airport. I hear a lot of folks say, I never get to the airport early, so I don't care. Well, I have to admit something. I ride that dad life. And yes, that includes getting to the airport very early, every single time. So I'm sitting there early in the morning thinking I didn't have to make breakfast or stop somewhere or be hungry. I got a decent little breakfast and a really good cup of coffee. And of course, my flight was delayed. Was I out there sitting next to Adam J's snot-nosed kids? No. I was at the American Express Escape Lounge. How do I access the Escape Lounge? Well, with the Amex Platinum, of course, and I can still get 2 guests with me with that one. Very low effective annual fee, lots of lounge access, and in this scenario, the Platinum could be called a no-brainer. I know you guys don't like that term. What about the Gold Card? Well, if we're all in, we're keeping the points generator. In researching for this video, I did realize something new for me. In the last 3 years, I've gotten over 30 credit cards. That means I've been hitting minimum spends almost all the time. Well, what does that mean? Well, I'm afraid that maybe, just maybe, that my American Express Gold Card has not been getting the playing time it needs. It hasn't gotten the time to shine. So if we're going all in, we're going to suck it up, utilize those stupid food and Uber credits, and we're going to stop whining about them. Why be halfway in the game at this point? But we aren't finished with Amex, are we? Well, in this setup, we are shedding hotel loyalty and we're going full hotel free agent. We're even going to book some boutique hotels. So those Hilton cards, they're gone. Kinda. Those 2 Aspire cards are going to be downgraded to no annual fee Hilton cards. We'll do that because maybe we will realize that we want back in the Hilton matrix later. The Hilton business card, canceled. So we will be keeping $1,140 in annual fees for the Platinum and the Gold, plus the authorized user card. But I'll be getting rid of $1,195 in Hilton card annual fees. And we will be freeing ourselves from having to meet those requirements for the Hilton credits. So with this strategy, we accomplish some different things. We still shave a few dollars off total annual fees. We gain access to more airport lounges and more ways to redeem our points. We shed loyalty constraints to test the free market, but we also keep access to all 4 major issuer ecosystems. Why is that important? Well, currently Citi has a 30% transfer bonus to Virgin. What would our points value be if we could really take advantage of any transfer bonuses when we schedule our travel? Another plus for me is, well, I guess I'm a credit card YouTuber, so I need to have access to these ecosystems and these popular cards so I can give a legitimate opinion on them, right? In the last video, I mentioned that in the season of life I currently live in, it makes sense to limit spending a little bit and lower annual fees. But at the same time, I'm never going to get these years back with my young son and my wife. We will get older one day and we will have the trouble enjoying a hardcore travel schedule. So there is an argument to hit it now and hit it as hard as possible. Do we hit it hard or do we go conservative? Well, subscribe to the channel and you'll stay up to date on all those decisions. Quick reminder, if you want to support the channel, check out my card link in the description below. And if you guys have stayed all the way to the end, I thank you and I appreciate every single one of you.